4 people today.
Buddy Kriv.
What?
Said there's your buddy.
Yep.
It's just a bot. That's all it is. It's a robot. There's nothing there. There's no one.
We're running out of players. I mean, you think you could just have it randomly roll? Could you just have a completely random character, which is just it does an action that's just completely randomly generated?
That never works out well.
I guess I could just replace Valvine's turn order with a roll of the wild magic table.
No.
Just random action.
I don't think I'd mind that.
Yeah. Oh no, not the magic search table. Wild
You
magic.
randomly.
No.
Sounds like you have some inbuilt trauma related to that.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I was just
Potted plant adventures.
Yeah, potted plant, sheep. Casting fireball on yourself.
I mean, it's all fun and games until it happens to you.
Yeah, we were doing in one group. We were doing a level 20 battle royal one shot, and one character had, I think it was like that staff of. For some reason, we had a roll on a magic search table. I think it was
it the Feywild shard? Because I have a character that has that. Yeah,
something like that, and he rolled casting fireball on himself. And we were like, I think we were just like, okay, just for shits and gigs, roll on it and take what it is. Okay, I will. Rolled it, and it's like, oh, I cast 8th level fireball on myself.
I go boom.
I go.
Hang on, what level is this again?
Oh, it was a level 20 battle royal one shot thing. We were just prattling
around. Oh, level 20. That's fair. I was about to say, well, this was a good level 1 session.
Yeah. Level 1 fireball. Okay.
To be fair, we kind of already did that, didn't we?
Yeah,
anyways.
Wait.
We didn't need the spell.
Fucking. Okay. Anyways. So, starting out as the party wakes up in the morning, everything appears relatively fine, and as it is with the travels, on the 4 days heading to Hill's Edge, I would say that the journey is relatively uneventful, all things considering. The biggest trouble that you're going to have, or that you do have, is crossing the river. There's a long spanning river heading down through Hill's Edge down to, I believe, Scornable. But either way, the crossing shouldn't be too dangerous, all things considered, especially considering you do technically have Val and Veer as a guide.
Technically.
Yeah. Yes, Kriv?
No, I just said technically.
Yes, technically. But either way, if the party has anything that they want to say along the road, or anything that they're, if you want to pick up a few plants or something, or...
Sure, I guess. What do you roll to pick up plants? Investigation?
All things considered, Kriv, I could just imagine that you pick up whatever flowers you come across.
I'm gonna make flower crowns.
And a dandelion.
I did not think you'd be into that, Kriv, but okay, if you want to be a hippie, go for it. I do not judge.
What even is that?
It wouldn't be a check. If you're just picking up every flower, you just pick up every flower and fine.
Remember what Val said? Don't piss off laws of nature? Mother Nature?
The laws of nature.
That's the one.
Fine.
I'm not saying don't do it, just don't do it too much. It's called moderation. Maybe I should listen to myself sometimes. Whew.
You are quite wise, Darmond.
I wouldn't go that far, but... But what's everyone think about, use that map to see if we can't fuck around and get cut shortcuts and shit? I mean, not a bad one.
I mean, as long as those shortcuts aren't like extraordinarily dangerous, maybe.
I worry about shortcuts.
First 4 days, the shortest cut that you have that isn't, walking straight into kobold country.
Above table, I'm talking about trying to get a copy of the map to use it as information for Candlekeep.
Sure, absolutely. As stated before, if nobody in the party has cartography tools or proficiency in cartography tools, you should be able to find a cartographer in the next city that you're coming into, Hill's Edge. They should have somebody there who can do the job,
Yeah.
albeit for a bit of gold.
Yeah. I've got a bit of gold, thanks to the Xanth and Apollo. May he rest in peace. But I just wondered what people's ideas, what people's thoughts on it are. Do we want to try it, or do we want to just soldier on?
I mean, I think Candlekeep, as far as that goes, I think that would be a good idea. And if the map gets us in, or if we find something interesting, like a book, to give to them, yeah.
I mean, some of us are going to have to wait outside because, well, the kids are going to be misbehaving. No one wants dragons walking around in there.
As you see one of the white dragon wormlings, specifically Snowball, getting ready to bite the tail of one of the copper dragon wormlings.
Snowball, stop. No, Snowball, do not bite other dragons, okay? Snowball.
Wormling pauses for a moment, noticing that it had been caught. The copper dragon wormling immediately runs towards Aranax and gets behind him.
It was a good effort, Snowball, but let's behave ourselves and don't bite other dragons. Okay?
We're all friends. We're all family here.
Was he trying to do it as in playful nature, or was he trying to do it in a... Oh, okay.
It was not meant to be playful.
Oh, you're going to be hard work, Snowball. Why can't you be like Chompy? He only bites me.
You do see the gold dragon wormling begin staring daggers at Chompy. As Chompy kind of lowers his head.
It's okay, Chompy. You're a good boy.
It seems that Chompy knows something that you do not. And the gold dragon wormling does not want it. Just doesn't seem to be letting him go for it.
I'd probably be completely fucking oblivious to it as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it'd be hard to notice that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's you get 4 days of that.
It's just constantly shouting, Snowball, no! Snowfang! What's the matter with you? No, oh, Jesus Christ, where are you going now? No, you cannot chase every single goddamn rabbit in the fucking forest. Stop it!
The near acts of violence between the two groups of wormlings does begin to ramp up a bit. I will say that much. As time goes on, the wormlings, out of danger from the kobolds, do very much divide themselves away from each other. For whatever reason, they just do not like each other. Like the copper dragon wormlings are willing to deal with the gold dragon wormling, but they are not interested in putting up with the white dragons or the green one.
Oh, god damn it, Arnax, why can't you be wrong for fucking once?
I mean, all things considered, the green dragon wormling is seeming to, like, Chompy seems to be the most social of them, but for whatever reason, whenever you, like, see those encounters happen, the copper dragon wormlings end up recoiling almost out of a sort of fear, whereas the gold dragon wormling kind of stares him down.
Yeah. Oh. I would probably also try to keep distance between them for the time
Absolutely.
being, trying to sort of not basically perpetuate the because like
Right.
I know kind of I kind of know that kind of what's going on now. I kind of half click onto it after my and Oranax's chat sort of thing.
Right.
I'm trying to sort of keep the peace. So be it.
And to be fair, you do a decent job as it is, despite the fact that you have chromatic and metallic wormlings there. You've managed to go, pretty much almost 4 days and 3 nights. No, almost 4 nights without any trouble, or at the very least, not without an open fight breaking out. Which, all things considered,
Is a
I
miracle.
haven't had one incident of somebody trying to bite Snowball's eyes out.
How's Snowfang during all this? What's he been like? Is he kind of the same as Snowball?
Well, yes, except for one difference. He seems to really fucking hate Chompy for some reason.
Oh, no.
Oh Jesus! Fucking kits, man.
He does not go anywhere near Chompy.
Yeah, lass, can I ask a question? Is this what parenthood's like? Because I'm fucking exhausted and I need a drink.
If it helps and if Snowfang will let Valeria, she'll stick close to that one.
You see my
As-
message? And
Oh no, don't get me wrong, Xanth. You do try your best with the wormlings to, keep them from attacking each other. Keep them relatively peaceful and explain that. That again, that factors into them being relatively calm with each other. Again, an open fight has not broken out, and considering that even just the white dragon wormlings alone tend to, be so antisocial they can't even stand being around each other. Again, it's a miracle that it's holding together as well as it is.
Xanth would Aranax off to the side at some point during the journey to the first town and suggest maybe writing some of his stories that he has about dragon history and such. Maybe not the divisive ones, but stories that could potentially at least give the wormlings some knowledge of where they come from and what their heritage is and that sort of thing. Suggest that kind of like a bedtime story type situation.
Perhaps. I'll see what I can pull together from the stories I've had. It'd be difficult to pull a story that involves both of them together. If nothing else, I can start with the creation myth. As he may as well go ahead and tell that one at least. Start with that.
Oh boy. That story does not end well.
Let's see, that one was right up here. Ah, yes. Once upon a time, there was no divide between the metallic dragons and chromatic dragons. We were all simply dragons, serving Io, though many races prefer to call him Asgarath, creator of dragonkind, and among the most powerful gods of all existence. He created all dragons, and from the blood of the first dragons, kobolds were born. We were all the same, simply colored in different hues. We were equally kind and cruel, wrathful and compassionate, stern and mischievous. However, all of that changed with Io's death during the Dawn War. When the primordial Eric Huss slew the god Io, cutting him in half with a great adamantine axe, that was when the divide began. For as the two halves of the dragon god split, each half formed into its own entity, embodying two halves of Io, for Io himself was the truest form of neutrality. One half was the embodiment of good and law, the other of malice and chaos. But even then, Bahamut and Tiamat were born together, a product of the greatest loss of our combined race. They worked together to defeat Eric Huss. And together, in the beginning, they led dragonkind through the Dawn War and out the other side. Truly, if it had not been for the two dragon gods that followed Io, I believe our race may have fallen into ruin during the days of thunder. Instead, we persist, even to this day. That is the end of the story. Go away.
Good. Yes, sorry. Sorry, I
That
messed
was
up.
an unsatisfying ending.
Oh, trust me, there's not. That's the good ending. Congratulations, you unlocked the good ending.
You can tell that RNX does not particularly enjoy dealing with, Snowball giving a minor roar halfway through. But such is life. If nothing else, Chompy seemed to be listening fairly intently.
He's a good boy, Chompy. He's a good boy. Yeah, we always have a white sheep in the family, I guess. However that phrase goes. Maybe, I don't know.
Kids will find anything interesting.
Well, you are able to find a dandelion.
I'm still looking for that? I don't think... I think I stopped looking for those. I just find one without looking for it.
Yeah. As it is, I would say that the copper dragon wormling seemed to be warming up to Xanth at least. The gold one seems to be hanging around Aranax the longer he spends with the group.
That's fair.
And for whatever reason, the white dragons do not seem to appreciate him hanging around the gold dragon.
Oh, if I ever.
There are
Go on. Sorry.
a few more near nipping cases.
Xanth will make sure to communicate to Darmond periodically that he's doing a good job, so as to encourage him.
you, when you do that, like, aye, thank you, Mom, Pa. If I ever see you again, I'm really going to apologize to you. Fucking hell, is this what it was like bringing up me and my brothers? Jesus.
Valeria's gonna try to help Darman as best as she can.
For what it's worth, you do also see that as time goes on and as the metallic dragons start getting closer to nipping back, Viriline steps in a bit more. Making sure to break up the fights whenever it looks like the metallics are actually going to, attack the chromatics. Which
Does it appear to be in a an unbiased fashion, like not particularly taking sides? Does Viriline seem to be taking the side of the chromatics?
you can roll an insight check on that one.
I'm gonna basically see it as he's trying to be an alpha.
17.
17. Fair enough. He's trying to remain unbiased for the most part, though it seems like the best way to describe it is he probably thinks the protection of metallics is being covered by you guys already. So he's more stepping in when the other side of the spectrum is going a bit off the wall. While Darman sleeps on the floor. In the cases when he's not available, essentially, he tries to break up the fights whenever it looks like the chromatics are about to, be violated. Anywho, eventually the party is able to spend the 4 days traveling, heading up to Hill's Edge. It is not so much a town as much as it is a small city, complete with its own taverns, its own shops, even a couple of temples, like 2 whole temples dedicated to different gods. As it is, it has seemingly only one inn, or at least one inn that's really available. Something called the Worried Wyvern Inn.
Oh, that seems to be fitting.
How's it going to work with us trying to stay in an inn with all these wormlings in tow?
Everyone takes
So I was
one.
going to mention that.
Yeah.
Here's kind
Someone
of
someone has to camp outside.
Oh, right.
Well, for starters, Viriline and Valvine are essentially they are keeping out of the city itself. Viriline seemingly does not want to be spotted by the people in the city, and has instead decided that he and Valvine will, patrol the outside of the city, get a lay of the lands going outside towards Triel and, towards the tradeway. Have an idea as to where the party will be going once they leave Hill's Edge. Which, by the way, after you guys stay the night in the city, Arnak should be fully healed up and fully free of his exhaustion, so he should be able to start flying.
Cool. I would mostly... I'd probably stay outside for the most part to kind of help Valvine and Virilin.
Well, there is a bit of a stable area, which, the wormlings will probably have to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Valvine and Viriline are kind of going off on their own.
Okay, that's fine. I would probably stay mostly in the stable parts for the time being until I will try and find that cartographer.
Absolutely. As it is, you are able to find a cartographer in his own shop. After asking the mayor, well, essentially the sight of the wormlings is enough for even the mayor of the city to, what the fuck you doing over here? What is this?
Xanth would probably be happy to speak with the mayor.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, afternoon, Mayor. How you doing? So I just say
As
sort of kind of like feeding sort of the kids.
here we are. Yeah. She appears to be a stout woman, middle-aged, maybe late middle-aged. Blonde hair, green eyes, seemingly fairly cheerful. Well, I will admit that it is an unusual sight to see in the city, but as long as you can keep them from attacking any of the citizens, we should be fine.
Xanth would explain the situation and that we're trying to escort these wormlings back to safety.
Question: do you mention anything from in Waterdeep?
No, would just say that we had stumbled upon the kobolds, particularly say where. Just say stumbled upon kobolds that had these. Xanth will most definitely not be lying, but he might be, omitting a detail or
Not
two as necessary.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. As it is, she says,
I rolled a 16
yes,
persuasion in case I need it.
the kobolds. I remember how I've been hearing reports about those. Apparently, they've been harassing Zentarum agents across the roads going northeast. Honestly, I'm not too, what's the word, broken up about what happened to those Zentarum agents. But it is what it is.
We
I
appreciate
will.
your hospitality.
Oh, of course, of course.
Hey, thank you.
As it is. But there is one thing I would like to ask if you would be willing.
Of course.
You're going to be staying the night, yes?
Yes, I suspect we'll be on our way on the morrow.
Word has just come in from Waterdeep. It would appear that a friend of mine has been incarcerated.
Oh,
This could prove somewhat troublesome, as a few of the associates of said friend did not care for his dealings in this city, or for me. I can't ask you to stay in the city since it seems as though you're on your own mission, but if you would be willing, I would like for a couple of you as protection, just in case.
I mean,
who's this friend that you're referring to?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
I would prefer not to mention his name. As it is, we prefer to keep things as subtle as we can, considering the territory we're in.
I respect that, but you have to understand it puts us in an awkward position that you're asking us for help without giving us all the information.
Fair enough. Like I said, if you are willing, we'd also be willing to pay you 100 gold each for just the protection that night.
I mean,
Xanth would look to everyone else to see what their opinion is.
as long as we keep an eye on someone to keep an eye on the kids. I mean, doing a little work might help us on the road with the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xanth
If need be, I
Xanth
can watch the
nods in agreement.
wormlings.
I mean,
Xanth would look at Arnax and ask him if he can keep track of the metallics. All we have to deal with
Absolutely.
is the chromatics.
I suppose I could split the effort. That's a possibility. I suppose I could split the efforts. So, as it is, would anybody be going on the job? Who would be staying in the tavern? And who would be watching the wormlings?
So it's just the chromatic wormlings need watching, don't we?
Why would we stay? Why would anyone stay in the tavern?
Or the inn? The inn.
The inn, yeah.
You know,
Why?
actual alcohol, rest for the night, actual peace and quiet.
Xanth might actually suggest the chromatics stay out with Viraline, since he seemed to have built a small amount of rapport on the road. Alvine and Viraline can keep track of them outside the city. That way they're not in any danger.
Well, if you would like to, you can definitely send them out to, or send them out with Viraline for their protection.
I think that'd be a smart decision.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, the only thing you got to worry about is the metallic dragons, who seemingly would be protected by Aranax in the stables.
I think Aranax can handle himself now that he's on the mend.
Well, he's still got one level of exhaustion, but that doesn't affect his health or his speed, so he should be fine.
Yeah.
We could always have Solaire watch the kids.
Yes, that is an option.
I mean, it's not a
I
genuinely
think
not
that's a great idea.
Genuinely not a terrible option. I mean, it's not the greatest, but he hasn't tried anything funny, I guess.
Just for the record,
maybe he can
since
help
he mentioned
Aranax.
watching him. I mean, he could help Aranax. He could help Aranax. It's up to you. As it is, he seems like he would rather get some rest in the tavern or in the inn, but up to you.
I mean, he can do like a little bit of both. We could say to him,
back and forth.
Yeah, it's like, you know, that sort of thing where you just every now and then just go and check, make sure Aranax is alright, and
yeah. So he's on dragon watching duty, occasionally coming back to the stables to make sure he's not dead.
To be fair, Xanth would probably be doing that also. He would be checking in not only with Aranax, but also with Valvine and Viraline outside as well over the course of the evening.
Fair enough. So the question is with Darmond, or the question is with the rest of the party. So who would actually be protecting the mayor specifically? Because she mentioned 2 people.
I think I would kind of do it, but I gotta go see the cartographer first.
Only 2 people are doing it?
Well, she's only paying for 2 people. More can go in if they want to.
I mean,
Yeah.
200 gold split a few ways and it's still gold. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Xanth probably wouldn't need any gold. He would just be a floater.
More
Fair
gold for
enough.
me then.
Well, we could maybe if Dermond and Kriv, you keep close, and then I can kind of
Walk
like,
from the back.
yeah, keep an eye out.
Fair enough.
That's fair. That's smart, lass. Yeah, that's pretty damn smart.
I'm a little bit better, more sneaking around than being up close and personal.
That's a good point. So in that situation, it'd be Darmond and Kriv defending the mayor, Valeria watching from the back, Xanth and Solaire in the tavern, occasionally walking back to say hello to Aranax in the stables. Is that the setup I'm hearing?
I think that's about right.
Here we go.
Why do you say it like that?
Don't worry.
Oh, here we go.
Watch Xanth get like the most interesting mission.
So as it is, Darmond, you are able to get to the cartographer. You were able to meet with the man. You were able to discuss the job and the payment. It's going to cost you about 2 gold for the copy of the map.
Okay, I will pay him 4 gold and say, make it the best damn work you've got, and make it as quickly as possible. I'll pay for an express decent service.
The best damn job he can perform, that he'll go for 5.
I'll hand 5.
Fair enough. This man is getting going to be much richer by the end of the night. Anyways.
I would pay the gold up front as well, so literally have to come back.
Oh, fair enough then. Yeah, never mind. He's perfectly fine. So, as it is, Xanth, the stay in the tavern or in the inn is relatively decent. You have 2 paladins in an inn. I'm not sure if either of them would be drinking any alcohol.
Xanth definitely would not. He does not drink at all.
Yeah, neither.
Get Solaire drunk.
So neither of them would be indulging at all. They just as the inn is actually relatively spacious. There's multiple tables with a bunch of people sitting at them, with like one table that is expressly free, like easily accessible for the party.
I can just imagine like one of the barmaids coming over. So what would it be, you two? And both in sync just say tap water, please, and then look at each other and give a little. Oh yeah, you two. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much exactly. I mean, they as Xanth, you hear him say, "So, I'm real curious about that. If you don't mind me asking, you mind me asking something?"
Sorry, the sound dropped for a minute for me. Is that Solaire? Is that Solaire talking to?
That is Solaire. That is Solaire trying to speak to you.
Xanth nods to him.
So, from what I remember, and I was only able to study so much about Thymanther, but from what I heard, the Dragonborn clans over there despise dragons, if I remember. Like, the dragons enslaved them in another world, and eventually they came over here, but that mindset of escaping slavery is still with them.
Xanth is studying Solaire as he's asking his question, wondering what his motive is.
Absolutely, you can definitely go for an insight check.
That's a natural 1, so a total of 6.
Natural 1.
Ooh.
This man is figuring out exactly, for whatever reason, he wants to be as racist as possible to dragonkind, and he wants you to tell him the best slurs.
Xanth definitely gets like a angry look on his face and says, "Would someone like you care anyway?"
I mean, as it is, I'm just a curious fellow.
Yes.
As it is, I never got the opportunity to really learn about dragonkind back in the temple. So I've kind of had to gather as many books as I could to, catch up on that stuff, my own free time.
Okay, so initially Xanth is under the impression that Solaire's motives are not pure, and now he's saying this. Does it feel like backpedaling to Xanth, or what?
It definitely feels like you got a natural 1.
Yeah. And Xanth sort of leans back and folds his arms. Says, "If you were a race who had enslaved, you would look upon your captors as enemies, would you not?"
Oh, of course.
Yes. So that is the mentality Dragonborn have towards dragons for the most part. There are some exceptions, myself among them.
And so how does that happen? Because I find that really strange.
Anth kind of studies him for a minute before he answers. Says, every man makes his own choices.
But you're a paladin, aren't you?
Obviously.
A man's are guided by the force of their god, if they serve one. You've said that you serve Bahamut, right?
Dragonborn do not serve any of the dragon
Oh,
deities.
none of the majority of Dragonborn, of course, but you. I remember you were a paladin of Bahamut, right? Platinum Cadre was what the order was called?
My mentor is a great man, and he introduced me to Bahamut, his wisdom and justice. Yes.
So from that perspective, it wasn't your own choices, but the fact that you saw the will of a deity that was beyond you, and you believed in his cause. You believed what he believed.
It was still a choice. But nobody is free of their actions by some mystical deity that wills them to do things a certain way. We choose our deity just as much as our deity chooses us.
That is an interesting thought.
Chose Bahamut because I believe in what he stands for, and I came to my faith in him through my mentor.
And what happens when Bahamut or one of his children does something that clashes with those beliefs or clashes with your beliefs? Makes you question them.
Every man has within him the capability of evil and good. It's what he chooses to do with those impulses that defines him.
But that's not really a case of impulse, is it? That's more of a case, like, let's say, dragging, like, I heard, or at least I spoke with Aranax on one of those nights about the chromatic wormlings, and between me and you, he wants to kill him. He wants to kill them. The chromatics, at least.
Xanth seems fairly unfazed by what he just said, and seems to be getting more frustrated with him. Nex does have a predisposition towards chromatics because he is, let's just say, a little old-fashioned. And I disagree. He and I disagree on that fact because I don't believe that just because a dragon is born chromatic, they should be assumed to be chaotic or evil or treacherous.
And yet, despite those disagreements, you still work with him. You're able to move past them.
Of course. It is what compromise and friendship is all about. It's not about aligning yourself with people who think the exact way that you do. It's about learning to get past your differences and embracing similarities.
Right.
What about you? You don't ever speak of your deity.
Well, as it is, I don't think that it's all that, like, there's not much that can be said about Helm that hasn't already been said. I mean, Helm is basically the main god of paladins. He's the original guy. Like the Order of the Gauntlet, that was Helm's gauntlet.
So do you find yourself in 100% agreement with those that you serve with?
You see him pause for a moment, thinking very carefully about his next few words. Like you said, you look for the similarities.
Xanth definitely has Zone of Truth now. By the way, he has a spell. I'm tempted to cast it.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a somatic and a spoken component to that, so he probably couldn't do it. He
Yes.
probably couldn't do it on the low and get away with it.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to do it without, it being noticeable.
Yeah. Cough the words.
Just cough the words.
Move your hand. Sway your hand back and forth just a little bit. What are you waving your hand around like that? Are you some kind of Jedi? You think you're some kind of Jedi or something?
Well, actually, there's the worst problem with that.
He knows.
You've seen Javin Tarmakos use Zone of Truth many times in front of Solaire. He probably knows the spell inside out.
Yeah.
I think if there's anybody in that inn that could tell you were casting Zone of Truth, it would be him and no one else.
Maybe Xanth gets up to excuse himself to the restroom, and while he's behind Solaire, casts the spell.
Up to you. I guess you could roll a stealth check with your heavy plate mail.
My disadvantage? No thanks.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to do it subtly, I'd risk it.
Get for the biscuit. But
Yeah.
but
Risk it for the biscuit.
But if
sure.
What do you have to lose? It's not
Yes.
like he's a serial killer or anything.
There's no way this can go wrong.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
any way, shape, or form.
as
Overly
do
exert
it,
wink
do
in the
it.
face.
Xanth would probably just frain.
Howard.
So
Seemed to wrap up that conversation, or was there more?
yeah, that pretty much summed it up. Anyways, so on the other side of the bell curve, as night falls, Valeria, you are able to see coming up the road to Hill's Edge what looks to be a small detachment of what looks to be guardsmen wearing an odd, darkly colored sets of armor.
Hmm.
There's about 50 of them coming up the road.
Do I
You know-
recognize it at all? Like their armor or anything?
Roll a history check.
Okay.
Remember, you're the good one at this.
That's not too bad. 14.
14. You are able to recognize the emblems on the armor as symbols of the Zhentarim.
Ooh.
If you remember what the Zhentarim
With the
is.
Zhentarim, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Anyways, the trips around the town are relatively fine. You are able to hear about certain things going on in the city. For example, apparently the two temples in the city, one called Cry to Joy and the other called the Fist of the Future, seem to be at odds with each other. In fact, they've apparently been at odds for literal centuries. To the point where in a hushed tone, the mayor says, well, the Fist of the Future at one point did try to, destroy the Cry to Joy. I believe they tried to bring explosives into the temple.
Jesus.
Hmm.
I mean, who would mess around with explosives? That's just stupid.
Yes. Who indeed? Valeria, do you mention anything about the group coming up the road?
Yes, I'll mention it to Dermond and Kriv.
All right, fair enough.
Oh boy.
What are they again? Like out of character?
So the Zentrum is essentially the main trading and mercenary organization on the Sword Coast. As it is, they are the most wealthy faction on the Sword Coast and one of the most militarily powerful ones. The faction leader of the Zentrum, at least in the Waterdeep branch, has been Lord Umbren.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So, quote unquote, an ally, sort of, maybe?
Potentially.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could kind of. I mean, we don't know what they're doing here. They might be here to help.
Mm-hmm.
Say we see how it plays out. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
stick close to the mayor. I mean,
This, and I air quotations mark, this friend
Mm-hmm.
might be who we think it is, might not. I don't know, just a guess, but
Mm-hmm. I'll try to keep my eye on how these soldiers move. But I don't think they would be the ones that, like, that seems kind of a little bit of a force to take out one person.
yeah, but we don't know what they're actually doing here, so I say we
Mm-hmm.
err on caution, and for once, and I can't believe I'm saying this, let's not try and start a fight.
That seems like a smart idea. See, you are getting wise.
I
Xanth is
mean,
rubbing off on you.
well, I hope he isn't rubbing off on me. That's a bit inappropriate. We're colleagues and friends.
Not like that, Germans.
Fair enough.
Facepal.
So Xanth had mentioned that after the conversation with Solaire, he's going to head out of the inn and check on the others. For start, Aranax is still fine, Wormlings are still fine, and you are able to find the rest of the party, mainly Darmond and Kriv, protecting the mayor just outside of the cartographer's building.
Okay, yeah.
You do notice as you make your way there that this force of a little over 50 sort of makes their way into the city and kind of marches in,
Okay.
albeit slightly disorganized.
Janth might make note of it and then head over to where he knows Darmond and Crib to be to report this to the mayor to see if that's a issue.
Yeah.
You begin to round one of the corners trying to get out or get to the rest of the party. You suddenly, like around the corner, you almost bump into what looks to be another armored knight. The man appears to be decked out in full plate armor. This armor apparently chalk white, with what looks to be more like a skull helm.
Does he have any insignias? Anything I would recognize?
Yes, he does appear to have the insignia of the Zentrum, as well as another one on the armor that you don't quite recognize. As it is, the figure stands about 7 feet tall, covered head to toe in that thick suit of plate armor.
He's about 4
He also
inches taller
seems-
than me.
Yeah. He also seems to carry what looks to be a bastard sword on his back, basically a longer longsword, as well as a shield. As a paladin yourself, you are able to feel a chilling, unholy aura emanating from him, radiating from him, as he says, "Oh, hello. I had not noticed you."
Yes, please forgive me. I didn't see you there as I rounded the corner.
Not a problem. You know, I have not seen many dragonborn around these parts. Might I get your name?
Xanth would bow and say, name is Jolt Xanth. To make your acquaintance.
I am simply known as the Paraghost. I am here looking for someone, at least for the moment.
Well, I've only arrived in town myself this evening, so I probably haven't seen who you're looking for. We're just staying for the night and heading out in the morning.
I see. Tell me, have you seen Mayor Felicia Morgana?
Out of character, did she? I guess she would have told us her name.
It doesn't really matter. You did mention the mayor.
Right. Xanth would say, saw her earlier whenever we arrived. I do not know where she currently is. That's the truth. Out of character. He doesn't know where she currently is.
Yes. Very well. As it is, I do not wish to keep you, and I'm on a tight schedule myself. So.
Met, and he walks away.
You notice that he gives you a very suspicious look as you leave. Even though you aren't able to actually see his face through that armor.
Xanth would definitely be keeping an eye out over his shoulder as he's walking, and he wouldn't be, he's obviously wary of this guy, so he's not going to be like making a beeline for where he knows Darmond and Kriv are. He's just going to be kind of, walking along without looking like he's trying to be,
Maybe look out for Valeria.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just kind of taking my time.
Roll me perception. Yeah, roll me perception and deception.
It's Xanth walking around.
I learned this trick from Darmond.
Okay, perception is a 13. And
Perception is a 13.
And deception's a natty 1.
All right.
Dude.
Boy, can't lie.
I mean, it's Xanth. What do you...
He has
I
a
know,
permanent
but
zone of truth
maybe.
on himself.
You are able to notice Valeria and also where she's currently facing, which probably leads to the party.
Okay. I would try to get her attention somehow without like waving my arms like a fool, but
You waved your arms like a fool. Thank you for the nat 1.
Dang it.
All right, how do you...
Oh, hey, Valeria, how are you? Over here. Look, me, Zach.
Just throw a rock at me.
Golly.
I can just imagine
You
me.
try to subtly wave
Mr.
your arms as if
Inconspicuous.
like you're a bird, like you're trying to pretend that you're just a bird.
Valeria's like shrugging her shoulders, like, what the
What are
fuck?
you doing? Oh my
Imagine,
god,
like-
this is bad.
Just imagine me and Kriv seeing this, just jaws open, like.
Zed's just gonna face palm and
Oh,
then
God.
go outside to.
Good thing that guy from before isn't here. He'd murder him.
Hey.
I mean, as it is, you see the Paragos kind of look back towards where Valeria is and simply state, You don't hear a damn word come out of his mouth.
Of who?
Of the Paraghost, the armored man.
Xanth
Oh, yeah.
walks over to Valeria, and like that thing that you do when your hands are like in front of your chest and you got your back to the person that you don't want to see what you're doing, and you're like pointing and making little gestures. Xanth is doing that, like, there's a bad guy back there.
And all you can hear is the
Can I
armor
see
going.
Yes.
Sound of metal and metal.
You're trying
Valeria's
to
gonna
learn
subtly look in the direction of the.
Is he practicing sign
Yes,
language
you
or
can
something?
attempt. You can
Some
attempt.
higher deception roll
fuck
than
it.
I did, please. Otherwise, it's just like she just like raises her head up and looks right at him, like hello.
So deception? Is it deception that I'm
I was
rolling?
going to say stealth.
Okay, that's okay. I'm not gonna say anything.
I was going to say stealth because you're not trying to convince him that you're not looking at him. You're trying to not be seen while you're looking
Yeah.
at him.
Valeria
Yeah.
like gets down and looks underneath Xant's like off to the side of one of his legs, like peeks over.
Yeah, you are able to see the man. I'll say that much.
This is comedy.
The
23.
23.
Oh shit!
As it is, he is not able to. You're pretty fucking sure he's not able to notice you. At the very least, not able to notice you where you are
Mhm.
now after the
Mhm.
help. We're over here.
Oh hello, ominous cloaked figure. How's it going?
So, anyways,
If
So,
So-
Xanth,
you try to do a new spell.
once Xanth realizes that you've spotted, ye merry old bad guy, he would
Mhm.
say under his breath, "To be sneaky and go alert the others."
Wait, did he just say that you're gonna go? That Xanth is gonna
No,
go
no,
sneaky,
no.
or that Valeria?
He's suggesting
Okay.
Valeria is actually sneaky to get,
Okay. Okay.
and if she agrees to
Well,
that,
so-
then he's probably going to actually walk back towards the guy and make an attempt to
Okay.
distract him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
In an Elseworld, I'd
Then
love to
you-
see what his Xanth's stealth attempts would have been like, because that would have been hilarious.
We should
It's
have
like
done that.
Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
Oh my
Or
god!
Drat.
I rolled with disadvantage just for fun, and I got a nat 20.
Nice.
So with the stealth check that you made earlier, I'll say that you are able to get back to the party, warn them about big scary man with bastard sword and shield, radiating weird energy. Not good guy. Problematic. Problematic.
And then I'd probably ask
We're
Dermot
judging him too quickly.
if I should go, maybe like try to scope the dude out.
Oh shit. As the mayor is like, the question is, are you telling this to just Kriv and Darmond, or do you mention this to the mayor as well?
At the moment it would be just a Curve and Darmond.
Okay, fair enough.
I would say perhaps we should mention it to our client, and then, maybe say if you've got a safe area where no one knows where you would be, go hide like a little, hide and seek thing. And then we can.
Hold on, I need to use the restroom real quick.
So.
No problem.
Not game.
I know. Hang on, give me a sec. I'm going to just.
We're just about to probably have a fight, but I just need to go for a piss real quick.
Actually, maybe in game. I don't know.
Kriv just forgets where he is and wanders off behind a bar.
Then if Darmond suggested, then she will say that we mention it to the mayor.
Next, the question is, does Kriv just wander behind a barn? That is the question.
Yes, that-
Does she just disappear?
You
Like,
guys just hold on. Hey,
wait.
don't kill anybody real quick. Just give me a minute.
Okay, you're gonna be really sorry once I've done it. You're gonna be really sorry. Then 2 shakes and done. Right.
Why are they all dead?
Help. So, as it is, Xanth, you come back to the guy. You walk up to him. He says, "You again? I thought that you had somewhere else to be."
Oh yes, I actually forgot something in the inn.
Oh,
So he just kind of slowly walks
enough.
by him. He wasn't actually like gonna walk up to him and start talking to him or anything. He just figured that maybe the guy would keep an eye on him instead of keeping an eye on Valeria.
fair enough. So you're going back to the
Yes.
inn.
'Cause that's where Solaire is, and
Alright.
right now I think we
Yep.
trust the devil we know better than this guy.
Fair.
All right.
And Xanth would be speaking the word to fill his horn with potion of fire breathing.
Oh shit, what's happened?
All right. You're filling the home
Bro.
or filling the horn. Anyways, on the other side of the party, Krev and Darmond, you were considering telling the mayor, or what did you want to do?
I just got back from the bathroom.
I say,
By the way, Krev, if you want to, you can just wander behind a bar and just just
leave.
forget where you are and wander away.
No,
I mean,
okay.
if she might know this person, so we might get an idea of how bad a situation we might be wee bit in.
Wait, so there are more than one bad guys here?
Well, I don't know, but you know. I mean,
I don't know what's happening. What did I miss?
not much.
So you've got this armored fellow that's just there,
Mhm.
that's apparently going after the mayor.
Yep.
You've also got Solaire.
Oh
Who's in
yeah,
the
he's
inn.
just always there.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Right.
Okay, so not much has changed.
Not much. No, nothing has really changed. So the question is, what do
Yeah.
you do from here?
Lass,
Solaire just being an ominous background character.
what did
Okay.
what did?
We should warn the. Have we warned the mayor?
No,
We're asking if we want to, but
um,
what, Darmond?
did you say? Did Zav tell you the name or how he looked? Because
Yeah. Well, did you? Did Xanth?
Nance didn't really.
I didn't say the
don't
name. I
believe.
just pointed him out to you, and you looked at him. So I mean, you would be able to describe him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks
yeah.
like Shark.
right. Well, maybe we should go tell the lady mayor. Maybe she might recognize who it is
Okay.
and tell us how fucked we are.
All right. Sounds good.
And I'll walk over to the mayor,
Probably not that bad. It's just one guy.
kind of say,
He's with 49 other people, Kriv.
okay, that's
Well,
a problem.
Um,
I will
I mean,
go and say to the mayor the description I got from Valeria, and do you know who this is? And there's like a lot of troops to him in town, sort of thing. He seems to be after you.
Literally, the only thing that ensures she's able to tell is the distinctive skull helmet that he's wearing. Oh, that is much worse than I was thinking. Oh, wonderful.
great.
Yes, that man is known as the Paraghost. He is the very head of the Zentrum, not just in this region of the world, but also all across Faerun.
Oh,
And considering the fact that you might be the only thing keeping me alive here, I do want to make note that the Zentrum is also known in Faerun as the Black Network.
Oh.
wait.
Oh. That's not good.
Viv? Didn't Dodgy Umbren say something to you about that? I vaguely remember.
Well,
Why?
we should get you out of here.
Why are you
Mayor.
looking nervous?
Hang on, Lord Umbren. What was that about Lord Umbren?
Wait, I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark here, but you didn't tell us who your friend is, but I'm guessing your friend's Lord Umbren.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
it's a good news, bad news situation. We can prove he's kind of innocent of all his charges, so he'll be getting free. Bad news, we might not be getting out of here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, I had thought that I might be suffering an attack from the Fist of the Future Priestess. The main head of that, Corelia Foxon.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I did not expect for the Paraghost himself to show up into the city.
how much do you
But
think
So,
he's going to hurt you? Could he just be coming to say, don't do anything stupid?
the Paraghost does not come to make threats. He comes to end problems.
what's the quickest way we can get out of here?
Well, I'm going to be honest here. If he's brought the Zentrum agents with him, he likely has scouts outside of the city. The best chance that we have of evading him is trying to blend into the crowd in the inn.
Okay, so
Hmm.
is gonna be a slight issue with that one. You might be able to blend in. But this boy here, and I point to Crib,
Dragonborns might be.
and my other friend, and the dragon wormlings we got, them and the other paladin dude, they might not blend in so much.
Perhaps, but
Are
as
there
it
any,
is,
like.
you don't
se-
think they aren't after you, I'm sure. So you should be fine, so long as you don't stay too close to me.
Are there any, like, secret tunnels out of here?
No, there are no secret
I mean,
tunnels. Not that
it's the
aware
best
of,
shot
at
we
least.
got. So I say we try and give it a whirl. We just got to get to that inn.
All right. So,
And as we go along, I'm just gonna say, right, the best part of here's Darman's Disguise Camp 101. A, be a little drunk and stink of fucking booze. They're not gonna suspect you. Maybe a hat. A hat always works.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, when we get to the tavern, I'm gonna buy you a drink. 2 drinks. I'm gonna have one for you.
I
The
think
drink.
a hat might not be enough for me. Maybe, like, a hood?
I mean, you don't need to worry about you. You need to hide the mayor. He's here for the mayor.
Um, uh, I think. Oh no, I'd like to be disguised too.
I mean, that's gonna be a pretty
Makes me feel comfortable, you know?
insight check.
go right ahead.
Don't worry, I've got a -1 to insight, so don't panic too much. Yeah, I can't read you for shit. I got a 3.
Okay. So, uh, the mayor is about 6 feet tall.
Well, damn.
We can't have any attack mayors. I'm sorry, but
By the way, Zan, as you're approaching, or as you walk past the Paraghost, and as you make your way for the inn, you see a number of commoners within the tavern begin to run out of it,
Great.
or rather, hurriedly walk out of it.
To the tavern? Or the inn.
the
That's
inn,
where I
the
left
inn.
Solaire.
Yes.
Great. So it was my intention to go in and get him to come with me.
Yeah.
So do I
Mhm.
I see anything that might be causing
As
these people to leave town
go
or
in-
leave the inn?
So, as you're going into the inn,
oh, here we go.
you see a number of the commoners sort of Their attention is focused on a particular point. Give me a moment. As you see what looks to be a gnome, a very familiar gnome,
Fuck!
sitting on one of the chairs in the table that you were left at. You see him holding a war pick, a staff, but no ring, as he looks towards you and says, "Ah, Zen. Wonderful to finally be able to talk to you again. Glad to finally be out of that cell, of course."
I see, Solaire.
So, Solaire is currently in a small cube. Well, not a small cube, but more definitely a cube. It's impossible to really see inside of that large cube of light, but you're pretty sure that that's a force cage.
And I presume person that's speaking to me is the visage of Lord Umbren.
It is the visage of Lord Umbren, yes.
Wonderful. Well, I would walk in and sit down at the table with him, as it would be strange if I acted the other way at this point.
Well, as it is. Wait, I've just realized something. Where are the others in the party? I'm hoping to speak to them too. We haven't been able to chat in a while.
Xanth gets this very confused look on his face and says, "Well, yes, that's because you were wise and disposed the last time we saw you. You might understand if I
Yes,
have some
yes,
questions."
Before you ask, the answer is quite simple. I used teleport.
The Black Staff had no way to
Things
stop
don't
you
do-
from casting a spell?
You bold to assume the guards were always paying attention. And certainly, Blackstaff herself was not always watching my cell that closely. Either way,
And Xanth, does Xanth know?
You
Does
have
Xanth know what a first cube is?
you're able to tell whatever the hell that is. It's more of a prison.
So he's
than anything
imprisoned
else.
Solaire.
Yes.
Uh, Th-
I prefer not to have civilian casualties in case he manages to break out. Anyone who wishes to leave the inn, please, immediately.
so that's why people
I
were
have to
leaving
say-
the inn.
Yes. As it is, I am surprised that you were traveling with a member of the Order of the Gilded Eye.
Wait, out of character.
Though I suppose
Wouldn't he know that we were traveling with him? He's the one that cast
He
the
would.
teleportation circle that sent us all.
he
Okay,
would.
So this is obviously not him. Okay, enough.
As it is, I do think I know who that is, by the way. I have discovered something about that Asimar that may prove useful in our investigations.
Oh.
I managed to pry this off of him as he pulls out a small silver ring
Shocker.
and puts it
Dun,
on the
dun,
table.
dun.
Xanth would reach down and
As
investigate
it is. Absolutely. You would have to roll an
Sure.
Arcana check on
I have a
that.
+0 in Arcana. What could go wrong?
Hmm.
It's an 11.
I mean, it's magical, to be sure. It's something called a ring of false appearances. I believe this ring was used to impersonate me before. Although, considering the death of Schemo, I have yet to figure out who's actually perpetrating it.
Yes, that does seem to be the question.
As it is, Solaire, I think I could. Well, with this ring, we would be able to fairly easily conclude that he is the serial killer, the Bladed Viper, considering the Bladed Viper appeared to be a human, but we both know that is not the case.
You're saying he's not the Bladed
Of
Viper?
course. I'm saying that he is, and that this ring can help us prove it.
That's
I preferred not to kill him because I want him taken in alive. That way, Waterdeep can see exactly the kind of people that the Gilded Eye chooses to employ.
we've had our suspicions about him for some
I'm sure you
time.
would.
Did you arrive with these others
Wonderful,
that I saw
wonderful.
outside in town?
Others.
Yes.
What others?
I believe the Zentrum?
As you see his eyes widen a bit, and then narrow in a moment of relief. Ah, yes. The Zentrum.
Yes, you're associated with them, are you not?
It would. Yes, I am a leader of a regional branch. However, I only hold so much sway in this region. I only have one spy.
There's a
I've been trying to keep the main body here in check, but I suppose with the rumors of my imprisonment spreading around, I probably sent a detachment here to take claim over the city for
very
themselves.
imposing visage
They've
of a
already
man
got
out there. And Xanth will describe
very
Paraghost.
imposing this as you see his eyes widen again as he says, "Oh, you saw that man."
Yes. Is that concern?
He just picked a hell of a night to try and to come here.
Seem to be interested in the mayor.
Yes, yes, of course he is. Wonderful. No, well, not my business,
No?
anyways. Well, it is my business. I just don't
Right. And if you don't mind me asking, how did you come to arrive in out of character? What's the name of this town? Hill's Edge, sorry.
Hill's
what,
Edge.
What brought you to Hill's Edge?
Simple. I was looking for you. I casted a scrying spell on Darmond as soon as I was able to escape Waterdeep.
Oh, yes.
Found out that you were hiding out around Hill's Edge for whatever reason, and I decided to come here myself.
Yes, well. It might be very
To
lucky
speak
that
to
you
you.
did with these others that have shown up. I don't know what kind of trouble may end up happening in this town.
Where the hell are they? I'm waiting for the rest of them to arrive. I want to share the information with everyone.
You mean Darmond and the others?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. I don't exactly have
Yes,
all night.
And Xanth seems very hasty to want to accommodate him. So he stands up and says, "Let me run and get them." Walks out of the inn.
No, hold on. You stay here.
And sits back down.
You know what? I'm trying to think if I have anything in my spell book which might be able to help me.
Xanth.
As we cut back to the rest of the party, Party is sneaking their way towards the end,
Yes.
trying to make their way around the Paragos.
I mean, I think it might be like Valeria will kind of like be ahead, trying to scope out areas,
Sort of a forward sort of
Call
and
us
then
on,
like
yeah.
symbol. Yeah.
I would take bit of a bedroll sheet off my, like the cover of my bedroll sort of thing, and I kind of just half drape it over Maya to half obscure, but try and do it without making it overly suspicious.
All right. Fine.
I know that's.
Roll advantage on your stealth check.
Oh, I'm not bad at stealth.
Valeria, you can go ahead as well.
The advantage.
Rolling another
Okay.
I'm
stealth
so
check.
glad I had the advantage. Oh, oh. That's a rough 20, and the other roll was a nat 1.
Oh,
So
gosh.
thank God I had the
24.
Okay.
It's a rough 20 for me.
Anyways, as you're starting to make your way towards the inn, the Worried Wyvern, you do notice a lot of people are leaving. Not really running from it at the moment, but they are leaving. In fact, you can actually see the Paraghost notice that there are a lot of people leaving the tavern or the inn for some
Great.
reason, and he actually starts walking towards it.
To have all the bad guys in one place.
I'm gonna, if I can, like, reach out to someone and be like, "What's going on?"
As it is, apparently, Lord Umbren has returned, and he is holding a dark paladin in a cage. He's waiting for the paladin to come out.
Hell?
I mean, if last way talking to her, why things can't get any, and that's when I heard the Lord Umbren thing, and I'm like, worse. Oh, fuck me.
What the heck is... Huh?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, so Mayor, for full disclosure now, is Lord Umbren your
Yes?
friend you were talking about? Because that might be the only way you're getting out of this.
Yes, he is.
I see. Is
He
there a
is.
back door to the inn?
There is.
See, we go in the back door, guys.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I see. See, we
Yeah.
ain't got much choice now, because fuck! Oh, Jesus. Oh, Morden's sake.
As you start coming through the back entrance, he says, or as he's coming through the back end, or as you're coming through the back entrance, move back to Xanth. As you can see Lord Umbren say, don't really have not really able to use a concentration spell without breaking the one I have. That's problematic.
Roll a persuasion check. It's just not
Like
happening.
I said in the chat, he is just not willing to do it. He is not willing. As he says, well, as it is, we can spend just a little bit more time speaking. So, Xanth, if nothing else, I do have to say you've come quite far, quite in such a short amount of time.
Xanth just nods quietly.
I mean, after all, in the Platinum Cadre, you were simply an acolyte, a small underling. Was that not correct?
Yes. Initiate.
But now, you're the most important person in the Platinum Cadre here. The absolute most important. Hell, you're one of the frontliners in this conflict, simply by the nature of what happened to you. In a dark sort of way, it made you someone.
Xanth raises an eyebrow and says, "Which conflict is that?"
A conflict of dragons, of course.
Wasn't aware that there was a conflict of dragons.
There's always a conflict of dragons. Dramatics whining about not having enough money, not having enough wealth, or not having enough land. Metallics having a self-righteous complex about needing the world to follow their rules, Baphomet's rules. And of course, both sides choosing to get rid of any dragons that even bear a slight difference from each other.
Xanth is definitely trying to play along, so he nods and says, "Yes, I had some differences in philosophy with Lord Aranax over this exact subject."
Indeed. Did you know the Mad Dragon was a metallic?
Did not.
Yes. A steel great worm. One of the most prestigious metallic dragons that could ever exist. In fact, if my research is correct, I believe the steel dragons are supposed to be closest to Io out of any dragon. The first dragon god.
It's like I told Lord Aranax. Every being, regardless of heritage, has the capability of being evil or good in them. It's their actions that dictate who they are.
Indeed.
And it's, Xanth is definitely trying to talk to him and kind of make him seem like he's locked in this conversation. But if Dragonborns can sweat, he's probably sweating bullets right about now.
The way I see it with Arnax is that he's another sort of fellow who's just utterly plagued by survivor's guilt. You know what I mean? That concept, survivor's guilt?
Xanth nods very slowly, having some of that himself.
Poor fool was never even at the battles. He hid under Waterdeep the entire time. Could you imagine? I suppose it's why he's still alive while so many of his brothers and sisters are dead, isn't it?
Xanth is continuing to nod in agreement.
Yes. It's not happening, is it? They've fled for one reason or another. Isn't that right? They've already gone. Left town. Perhaps this is some heroic sacrifice moment. Is that what I'm receiving?
Why would I need to sacrifice? What do you mean? Thought we were friends.
Don't play.
Could we be walking around this sort of time?
Yeah.
You are, but just a few seconds before you start coming in, you do see the Paraghost walk through the tavern doors and just sort of see Lord Umbren right there with Xanth. Ah, good to see you again, gnome. I thought that you were in prison. Ah, old Skullface. How are you doing on this fine night? Well, I was about to make great strides in my control over this region. I see, I see. Tell me, would you happen to know this fellow in front of me? Know him? Is he not with you? So you just appeared randomly. Wonderful. Wonderful. Alright, you know what? Fuck this. As he just drops the disguise right then and there. As the gnome guys gives way to the black kobold underneath.
And I think this would be where I just walk in first and look and then go, oh, fuck me.
Oh, come on!
We should get
Why did
out
I
of here.
talk it? No, you got me good on that one. I'll admit that. You got me good. Yes. It was a shit disguise, and no, I don't want to start fighting you just yet. After all, I wanted to try to speak to the adventurers that have caused me so much trouble in the last few weeks. Oh, don't you dare start whistling, you son of a bitch. I know you, dwarf. Remember that.
What do you mean you know me? I don't even know my fucking self
Yeah,
half the
sound like-
time.
Wait, so is everybody in this room now?
Yep.
Xanth looks over, didn't even realize
As-
that they came in.
I think we should get out of
Don't
here.
think that's an option
As
anymore.
the Paraghost actually spots Kriv and says, "You,
Yeah, we should definitely get out of
I
here.
know, no, I know
Oh,
you.
Kriv, you got a
I know
friend.
you."
Friend
Hold
is
on,
a strong
everybody.
word.
Everybody, just stay calm as he raises his staff in
Oh,
the
shit.
air. Nobody make a move, and no one gets hurt. How about that?
I believe this is what we call a Mexican standoff. I don't know what Mexican is, but
As you do see the Paraghost holding out his hand. I agree. No one make a move, and no one gets hurt. Although you notice his open palm is facing the kobold first and foremost.
okay.
So what is it that these adventurers are to you?
In his ass.
You say that they've been causing problems for your plans? What plans? What plans could a kobold possibly have? Oh, well, thank you for that bit of mild racism. I much appreciate it. Regardless.
Okay.
So, fuck it. You got me as it is. Yes, I've been impersonating Lord Umbren through Waterdeep. I've been trying to ruin his name and get him arrested. Yes, I am the one behind those simulacrums that you've seen in the city. And yes, I am the one that tried to kill Darmond. Thank you very much for not dying.
You're fucking welcome, and we fucking know already what the fuck you've been doing. I might be dumb, but I already kind of figured it out.
Now, fair enough. I am somewhat curious, though. As it is, what were you trying to accomplish with Slayer? Keeping him along. I would have thought that you would have beaten him to death by now.
It's called basically
We
not Trying to get ourselves
Actually,
shipping?
I don't really know. Why didn't we kill him?
Because
I mean, you had 6 wormlings with you. That's a, what? 10 versus 1 fight?
No, it just never seemed like the right time.
Never seemed like the right time. What is the right time to you?
I don't know.
Well, I was not
You know-
lying about the silver ring, for the record, as he points to the ring on that Xanth is now currently holding. Certainly not mine. Otherwise, I would have been able to hold up my spell of Alter
so
Self.
who's been going around here now?
Certainly didn't like losing it.
Oh, you lost it. Okay, never mind.
Well, I didn't lose it. I gave it away. But that's aside the point.
Okay.
Ah,
So,
The point?
Griv, I don't think we should say in about points right now. Remember what happened last time?
so, tell you what. I like to think of myself as a reasonable sort of guy.
Really?
Say that
Yes,
sarcastically.
Very reasonable.
I mean, the last time we saw you, you just literally pointed at us and say, die. I don't think
Well, you were in my house. It's called self-defense.
you fucking started it by trying to kill me and Griv.
Now, to be fair, that was just you not following basic mercenary etiquette.
Never said I was.
As he points to Paraghost. Did you know that those people decided to say my name out loud in the middle of a job, specifically in a job where you're supposed to keep the identity of your owners, of your of your employer secret?
Never said I was
Xanth-
mercenary.
I mean, to be
Xanth
fair,
leans
it wasn't
forward and
actually
says,
your name.
actually, you never said their name.
So what? Oh, I go by many names now. I'm trying to build a rapport for myself.
Yeah, calling yourself Dragon King, that's a real fucking good one, mate.
Oh, I believe it is. I certainly enjoy pissing off every one of them. Well, every one of the true dragons, anyways. I doubt the Dragonborn and the kobolds mind too much. In fact, the kobolds seem to love it.
Well, you know, you.
Cheeky little
I
bastards.
mean, if you're not a kobold, what the fuck are you? Because
Oh, I am a kobold. I'm 28 years old. But that's aside the point.
yeah, I want to
Insight
insight
check.
after all the
No, go
after
right
mine
ahead.
and Ornax's chat the other night. I'm really on. The,
23 for
please be
insight.
good. Please be good. Please be good. Yes, 16. That's good for me.
16,
24.
24. You know what the funniest thing about it is? Have you ever seen a case where somebody says something completely true, expecting somebody to believe it's false?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're getting at.
Yeah.
But tell you what, as he kind of glances at Xanth's shield, you can call me Galrock. That's the name I've decided to go by, outside of formal titles for now.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Yes, means eternal survivor, which I think describes me quite well.
Second, I need to check something.
We'll have to see if that remains true by the end of this night, won't we? See the Paraghost still. There is like a sort of small fireball at the end of his hand, by the way. Like, there's like this tiny orb of fire with like hints of green in it.
Question, DM. Does the
Yep.
name Galrock ring any bells in the stuff I've been learning and picking up, talking to Ornax and other things about after our discussion the other night?
Not a goddamn
Okay.
bit. Not a
Thought as
damn
much,
thing.
but I thought I'd ask anyway.
You notice he said, "I'm going by the name Galrock for now."
I mean,
This man, for some reason, just does not want to reveal his true
I'm gonna
name.
just go, well, at least you're not Gary.
Gary. What? Who was Gary?
Just facepalm from Valeria.
Give it a cheeky little grin to it.
Apologies, I see. My bad. Ah, it's a nice day. Oh, by the way, I do want a bit of mention something. As it is, I don't really care that much if you get away, if I'm being honest.
good.
I mean, as it is in Waterdeep, I've already won, so I don't think it matters all that much.
What exactly are you? Can I ask
So-
you an honest question here, Mister?
Sure.
What exactly are you trying to gain out of Waterdeep?
Well, for me, Waterdeep is, well, it's a city of splendor. It is the most prestigious city in all of Faerun, except for maybe Skuld and Mulcheron, but even then, it's a close race between the two. Nobody can say for certain which one's better. So having the crown jewel of Waterdeep in my possession, my seat of power, it's intoxicating, you know? It's a
How
great
is it-
idea, I think. A purpose, a goal to strive towards. You know,
So
like
you
working
want
your
it-
way up to buying a nice magic
Want
weapon.
it as a new sort of home for yourself.
Yes, that's sort of it. I
How
don't
is
really
it-
mind
No sort of-
weapons.
How is it in your possession, though?
Yes, that. As it is, that fellow, as he points to Solaire in the cage, and his gilded eye fellows have made things far easier for me in the long run to remove the riffraff, if you will. As it is, I've decided, once the Gault took power, that yes, I think I'll just kill. I'll just let everything die in the city, and then clean up the remnants afterwards. Keep the infrastructure and the city itself intact, but wipe away the people. But you asking about the methods,
Yeah, how
exactly.
you gonna do that?
Yes. Simple. Civil war. And to be fair, you already know how I've been doing that, at least in some small parts.
You're fucking around with everything.
I've, yes, delivered that letter that you gave me over to Javin and his boys. They had actually planted that letter, you know, trying to screw over Jarlaxle, and I allowed them to do exactly that.
Well, I'll be
But-
fucked.
There is, well, there is another part to it. See, I'm not just trying to screw over the Drow. After all, if I want a civil war that leads in as much death as possible, then I need the city to, well, have an even split between the two, don't I?
Okay, so how are you going to balance the books, per
With
se?
law. Yes, exactly. So for starters, Lord Umbren imprisoned means that the Zentrum is completely out of his hands. And that means that Erstil Floxen is currently in charge of them, especially with the Doom Raiders so royally screwed over. Erstil Floxen wants to screw over Lord Umbren. Lord Umbren is connected to Jarlaxle, which is bad reputation when Jarlaxle starts bombing city streets and destroying armories and temples. He'll want to escalate that to make Lord Umbren look even worse. So the Zentrum will start attacking whatever it wants to in Waterdeep, just to further break his reputation, at least in their minds.
Mr. Skull dude over there with the... Oh boy, that's a...
You see him listening very
What
intently.
do you think about being used like that?
I do not much care.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, thank you. Good chat. Good chat. So this... Wait,
Oh, there was one more
Oh, no.
thing, which I actually did do myself. Well, no, I didn't do myself. I simply commanded it with my agents within the city. About the night when you left the Temple of Tiamat, that night, I put out an order, a special order, which should both even things out and ensure that everything just burns down.
Did Order 66? Where did I get that from?
Well,
Where
not
did I get that number
quite.
from?
Tell me, Xanth, what do you think is the fastest way to drive a man insane?
Xanth is just like staring at him.
I mean the fastest way. I don't have the time to break a man down and destroy his mentality with seasoned brainwashing and harassment. I have to go for more brute force method. Strike at the heart, if you will.
Take away all hope.
So tell me.
I would say there, chap.
Xanth stands to his feet. He's looking.
Hit him in the head real
Oh, that
hard.
happened to me. It's a slow process.
looking at him in the eyes, and he says, "What have you done?"
Oh, fuck.
Quite simple, really. The fastest way, I think, to drive a man mad is to kill his child. Or I suppose, in Degalt's case, his
Oh,
son.
you fuck.
And at that, Xanth is just, you can see Xanth is just starting to burn, like fury building up in him.
Danth, boy. Danth, I know how you're feeling.
There it is, right there. That's the kind of fury in your eyes as the meteor swarm fell upon your
Danth,
people.
boy.
And yet, it was completely useless there. Just as it's completely useless now. As in that moment, the fire just bursts out from behind the Paraghost. As, give me a second, Xanth, you barely have enough time to get away, and the only other one that's in the way of that blast is the kobold. So give me
Need
a
to roll a
moment.
dex check.
As this happens, I'm just gonna be like,
Oh no, nobody in the party needs to roll a dex check. Only the
as this happens, I go, oh, what the fuck now?
And that's gonna be yep. Yep. Oh, that's a nat one.
Oh, be the kobold.
That's anticlimactic.
As you hear a fiery breath weapon burst through the tavern, striking both of them. Give me a moment.
Both of who?
Oh, fucking love you, Oranax.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Right.
It's a fucking gold dragon in this city.
Yeah.
As that's going to be a total of, yes, 12d10 points of fire damage. Oh, and just for the record, the kobold is a black kobold, so no fire resistance. Okay, yeah, that's 60 points of fire damage as the Paraghost and the kobold both just get drenched in the fire as it goes through the tavern itself. The Paraghost breaks concentration on the blast he was about to shoot out, and the kobold kind of puts up a what's the word? Yes, puts up a shield around himself, which doesn't help much with the fire, as he says, "What? You were supposed to be dead, dragon.
Surprise, cockfag. Now, I think every one of us, the word we should be reading right now is
Run!
fucking legates.
Just for the record, no, he did not lose concentration for holding Solaire. In game, Force Cage is not a concentration spell. Unfortunately, he was using his concentration to keep that alter self disguise. As the party sort of bolts out of the tavern, you see the kobold just say, all right, you know what? No, f you. This is my victory. You can all go away. As you run out of the tavern or out of the inn, fire meets water as a tidal wave pushes through the Paraghost and towards the gold dragon. That's gonna be problematic.
Oh, fuck.
Oh boy.
Darman's gone into full panic mode. Like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck.
Okay, so that's gonna be a why did I do that?
We'll say as we're running out to the mayor to say say goodbye to your town. It's fucked. Might want to go somewhere else.
As the tidal wave basically shoots out towards them, you see the Paragos kind of being pushed back by the wave. Aranax kind of holding his own against it. You are all retreating out of the tavern. You escape the tavern and start running out towards the rest of the town. As you see the tavern, the inn itself just fucking explodes from a massive fireball with bits of green in it. As Xanth, you've heard legends of this ability. It's called the Hellfire Orb.
Oh, fuck. Tony Outgame knows that one. He recognizes that name. Oh, fuck.
You say that would
That was fired into the inn right at the
by
kobold.
Arnax?
Not by Aranax.
The
Hey,
Paraghost?
Mr. Paragos.
Okay.
Yes. Just give me a moment. That would actually
Get
be.
out of here.
Don't worry.
Probably.
As you manage to escape, you notice that the fight doesn't actually last all that long.
Yeah.
As after about a minute or so of shenanigans, and really after that blast, the tide of battle quickly ends. The tavern is ruined. From what you can see, Kobold's just gone. He's no longer there, though there's no body. The force cage is still there. And so is the Paraghost, holding one hand up in a moment, in essentially a gesture of peace, as you see the 50 or so Zentrum soldiers beginning to surround Aranax. You notice the metallic dragon wormlings are actually very close nearby, sort of hovering around Aranax himself. All right. This would be too costly of a battle to be worth fighting tonight. I recommend a moment of ceasefire.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Aranax kind of pauses at this and so sort of looks to the rest of the party.
Just there going, yes, nodding.
As the Paraghost sheaths his sword, he says, "Good. I am glad that we are capable of negotiation. apparently unlike some. So, you are after this kobold, am I correct?
At the moment, he seems to
Yes.
be
Aye.
after us.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It may prove more useful to... I do not intend on being part of another's plan. And as it stands, I have no interest in dealing with the kobolds both in Waterdeep and out in the Sunset Mountains. I have already lost enough to the ones in the Well of Dragons.
Mr. Ghost Guy, sorry to interrupt you, but there's one bit of information you might be interested in.
Oh, and
I
what would that
think
be?
he might be the one who killed one of your guys. What was his fucking name? Jesus. Val, Vol, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. Oh, that's the one. I'm terrible with names. I think he might have something to do with it. Not sure. It's fucking confusing in Waterdeep right now. Not gonna lie.
Double Star Song is a member of the Doom Raiders. In fact, I believe he's the leader of
Hey,
them, no?
but isn't it Doom Raiders entering? What's with everyone's fucking names? Jesus Christ. Sorry.
I don't care much for the Doom Raiders or for anyone else that is loyal to Lord Umbren.
Okay, fair enough. My mistake.
As it is, Lord Umbren has been trying to wrest control over this interim from me ever since he had took over his position in Waterdeep a year and a half ago.
Right.
As it is, I have no love for the kobold, but I have just as little for Lord
Okay.
Umbren.
I will take that on board.
As it is, I offer you a trade.
Okay.
I will have you teleported to the city of Waterdeep within the next day. You will be able to skip the long journey through the tradeway, as well as the passage through Trial, and make it immediately back to the city.
In exchange,
There, in exchange, I ask for one thing. He points at Kriv. He stays.
I don't like that deal.
Xanth looks back at Kriv and then at the man. That is not bargain we are going to strike with you.
Are you sure? That man is a dangerous fellow. As it is, he's already the sole survivor of his last adventuring party. Do you want to hear how he got them killed?
Okay, curiosity's getting the better of me here. Did Bob fuck up?
As it is, he was part of an adventuring group known as the Platinum... What was it? The Platinum Stealers, Platinum Thieves... Or was it Platinum Bandits? I don't remember, nor
I
do
think it
I
was
care.
plunderers, like
Yes,
alliteration, you know.
the Platinum Plunderers.
Easy to
that was it.
remember.
Yes. This pitiful group of adventuring thieves enjoyed stealing from my outposts, as well as the outposts of many nobles across the Sword Coast and Faerun. Eventually, they got greedy and tried to steal from the very heart of my organization. He was their muscle.
Brains. Brains
Yep.
too.
Okay.
No,
Okay. I'm.
no, not brains. Brains is not what I would call what you did.
Jeez. Everyone's a critic here.
Party ended up making off with close to, what was it, 3 million gold pieces of my coin.
Oh shit.
But thanks to the trail left behind by that one, as he points to Kriv, tracking them down was not particularly difficult. We got the last of them, aside from him, back in Luskan. Tore them apart, bit
Why would
by
he lead
bit.
you directly to him and his companions?
As it is, I don't believe he did it intentionally, at least not that time. He certainly didn't care much for his comrades when he abandoned them in Luskan.
I mean, was that? It's not like I could have done anything.
Perhaps not. And against that force that you had just witnessed, would you really be able to do anything, as you put it?
You can see Xanth is like really torn right now.
The way I see it, I would be doing you a favor. Leave him with me, and I will bring you to Waterdeep. I know many powerful mages across Faerun, and I would happily pay them to teleport you on my behalf. I will deal with him the way all thieves are dealt with in the Zentrum. Those who dare to steal from our very heart.
Well, what I've learned from traveling with these folks is even if we have our differences and even if we might not agree on everything, I feel like we all can be redeemed in some fashion or another. So he's not yours.
Oh, hi. That fucking idiot. And a bit of an asshole, but he's our bit of an idiot and asshole.
Xanth nods, and you can tell that like that filled him with a new resolve as he looks back to
Thank you.
the
think.
Paraghost.
Ina, I want to stretch my legs, so I don't mind the walk.
Is that your
I
final
would think
answer, then?
that it would be in your best interest to assist us to get back to Waterdeep as soon as possible, given what you know now this kobold is trying to do in your name.
It does not matter. He cannot tie me to the events.
He can
Nor does that
certainly
seem to be his
use the
intent.
Zentrum for his ends. What will that do to the Zentrum in Waterdeep?
It will destroy Lord Umbren's reputation. I may lose agents in the process, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make if you insist on letting that pathetic little worm live.
Xanth looks back to Kriv again and then back to the Paraghost and says, that is the way that I see it.
Pathetic little worm can grow and change. It's better than being someone's puppet.
Better than being fucking dead.
Yeah.
We shall see who is the puppet of who soon enough, I suppose. But regardless, as he turns to his men, we are leaving this city. There is nothing left to be gained here. We move back to Darkhold immediately. Tighten our defenses around core mops. Prepare for any kobold attacks that may occur, and be wary of any kobolds, gnomes, or dragonborn that you see near those towns. As you see from the sky, what looks to be a flaming horse begin to descend. As it neighs with a unholy fury, you see the Paraghost begin to mount it. I wish you the best, whatever that may be worth in time.
Ant nods.
As
I have a safe trip home.
riding his nightmare, he flies into the air above his men as they leave the city of Hill's Edge.
Xanth looks over to Kriv and says, well, I think that proves that you're willing to make sacrifices for you. Sincerely hope I don't hear you say, I don't care about you ever again. Walks away.
I take one look at Kriv. You fucking idiot, and I'll take a swing and punch him. And I will 22 hit you, Kriv.
What? That will.
22 hit you. I've thrown a punch.
Yep, it
Just take 5
Yeah,
bludgeoning
that
damage, and I
hits.
say, you fucking idiot. Yeah, you fucking deserve it. You shit mother Jesus fuck.
Didn't you shove like a coin up a
No,
horse's
I
ass
did
one time or
fucking not.
something?
That is not the fucking same, you idiot.
Look, I'm just saying that I kind of had it coming.
Just like you had his
Hey.
punch coming.
Next time, I'll introduce you to Bessie real intimately, you fucking idiot. Jesus. Oh boy. Darman's stressed. Darman needs whiskey.
I think that. Or is there other bars in this?
not another inn, but the mayor is able to provide rest and food, considering the fact that you did manage to survive
By
to
some
eat somehow.
fucking miracle.
Yeah.
Wow. I just,
You know, in hindsight, Aranak surviving
Yeah, just
actually did a lot
Aranax.
more than you would have.
for sure.
Aranax carried.
I mean,
So, and Darman starts talking about drinking. Xanth would say something like, but what about the
Hey,
children?
what the Solaire?
Mummy needs a drink, okay? She's had a stressful day at work. Mummy needs a drink. She needs to unwind.
you mentioned Solaire.
Yeah, what
Griff.
happened to him?
You see in the force cage, he's still there. The mayor says, from what she knows about certain spells like that, it should be worn off by, like, within the hour.
So what should we do with
We
him?
walk up to the force cage. You hear us?
I'm not sure. I'm not all that knowledgeable about the spell.
That answers my question. So I'm guessing the cat is a little bit out of the fucking bag.
Well, I mean, it's been out of the bag for a while. We just haven't really acknowledged it.
God.
So the party is just
We're
sort of
talking about the
waiting.
same cat, right?
We're just waiting around the force cage.
The
Well,
same metaphor.
Valeria will be kind of off to the side, and she's asking Xanth
Oh, yeah,
for the
Xanth
ring if
has
he
the
still
ring.
has it.
Would hand it to Valeria.
Absolutely. As
gonna-
you now have it.
She's gonna take it and just put it in the bag of holding.
Absolutely. So the party is just sort of waiting for him now?
Yeah.
Perfect. As before the hour is finished, you see the force cage finally drop. As the sight you see is not gold, but instead purple and white. As Stellaire is the same, aside from the fact that, from what you can tell, he no longer looks like a true Aasimar. Instead, he looks like a fallen Aasimar.
Mhm.
Well, that was unfortunate, to say the least. But it seems that all of you managed to get out all right.
I think you got some questions to answer, boy.
What do you... As he looks to his hands, he had been wearing gauntlets up to this point, but from what you're able to tell, the kobold literally ripped the gauntlets off and removed the ring. As he says, um, listen, I know this looks bad, but as he's clearly trying to find words, but he just doesn't know what to say.
So,
Yeah, we already kind of knew.
Look, no one can find out about this, not in the city, not in Waterdeep.
And why should we keep your secret again?
Because
Wha-
if you don't, the city may fall into chaos. A paladin of the Gilded Eye being convicted as he kind of chokes up, unwilling to actually say the
Killer?
words. If the public finds out that a member of the Gilded Eye was responsible, someone who worked closely with the Open Lord, it would cause even more chaos within the streets.
And a fair amount of trouble for you, I would say.
Of course, but my troubles don't matter. I don't matter.
matter
What
to
matters
someone here, you little
is
fuck.
Helm's will.
So I suggest you start answering some damn questions. Why do all those things? Why did you take those lives?
Because it was the will of Helm.
Oh, don't take that cryptic fucking mumbo jumbo religious shit with me.
I'm not being cryptic. That's what it was. That was the will of Helm. It's...
To kill elves?
The elves were... I don't understand the specifics of it, but I know that the elves were the only thing stopping the Order of the Gilded Eye from accomplishing Helm's will of creating a perfect society in the Sword Coast. Free of want, free of pain, free of misery. A happy society that would have no citizens ever turn to devils, never be consumed by
Anth looks him
horrid
over and
monsters.
says,
You're not really
Anth looks
helping
him
the
over and
case here.
says, by whose voice did you hear this will of Helm?
I can't say.
Why
I
not?
can't say. I've already said too much. I don't want to betray my family. I can't.
Well,
Actually, you very easily could.
Why don't you think about it real hard?
because right now you're trying to justify murder as some sort of divine calling. Now, I'm not the religious.
All paladins kill. All paladins kill. We go out there, we attack undead, we destroy undead. We go out there, we find goblins, wipe out goblins. We go out there, we find orcs, we wipe out orcs. We go out there, we find evil dragons, we kill
You know
evil
what?
dragons.
I'm
None
getting
of that
real
is.
fucking tired of all this fucking morality bullshit.
Xanth leans in.
And
He puts a hand on Solera's shoulder and looks him in the eyes and says, "What if you were just being used?"
exactly my fucking point, Xanth. But if that little shit kobold, if you a little mumbo jumbo in your head says Helm's will blah 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 to your family or whoever, that little shit seems to have plans upon plans, fucking fingers in pies and shit. So, you want us to understand where you're coming from? You're gonna have to be fucking fully honest with us.
But that's just it. As you see, even to him, he knows there's no way to really justify it. And in the end, the most that he says is, as Lady Quera once told me, we are all being used by higher powers to fulfill greater purposes, even if we don't understand all of them.
Xanth shakes his head and he looks at him. He says, "You know that is not how all paladins operate."
I don't answer to any higher fucking power. I answer to myself and myself alone.
Again, while they're talking, Valeria's gonna try to whisper to Crib to remind him about his potion.
So, Kriv,
I already kind of used it a little bit ago.
You did?
you already used it?
Yeah, it wasn't even worth it.
You used the potion of mind reading.
Zone of truth.
I can cast Zone of Truth.
Yeah.
And at this point, I wouldn't have any reason to hide it, so I will cast Zone of Truth.
Absolutely. Go ahead. If you want to fucking say something.
Xanth
Or
will
ask
cast
something.
the spell and then look directly at Valeria and basically motion for her to ask her questions.
I mean, don't we all have to make the save for Zone of Truth?
I mean, does it matter? Does the party intend on telling lies
not.
while in the zone of truth?
No,
Yeah, me
I'll
too.
fail on purpose. So, who exactly gave you the orders to go off and start killing elves?
I'm not supposed to talk about that. I'm not supposed to say anything about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry what happened with your mentor. I'm sorry about what happened in the city. I can't do anything about that right
Can I
now.
do an insight check to see if the Zone of Truth is working?
Absolutely.
Well, the thing is, like, I can't compel
I
him
got
to say. It
13.
doesn't it only stop him from saying false things?
A 13 DM.
Yep. As it is, from what you're able to tell, it is working on him. It's not like he's resisting it. But the problem is that he doesn't, like, up to this point, he hasn't really felt a desire. He hasn't really lied that much to begin with. He's just omitted things or refused to say
that's
things.
Yeah.
Must
So you think an apology is just gonna make everything all better?
No, of course not. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know.
Is that
Let me ask you a question. Okay. Once you've got this perfect world, once you've done killed all the elves, all the figs, got all that done, what do you think's gonna happen to you, killer?
Doesn't matter what happens to me. So long as the goal is achieved. That was the whole point from the beginning. Didn't matter if I died. Didn't matter if I was put down. I live to serve Helm. I live to serve the Gilded Eye. That's how it's always been. It has never been anything different.
Sorry, Valeria, you were going to ask something then, weren't you?
I think Xanth
Sorry.
had something he wanted to say.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, same.
I'm still thinking of stuff, so go ahead.
So, what did you get the drow poison?
I didn't get drow poison.
What?
It was given to you then?
I was not given drow poison. It is not drow poison. I don't have drow poison.
And you were told it was wrong?
I have a sword given to me, made with the power of Helm. That's it. That's all it is.
Maybe
Well,
they told you, but that is not the case.
I mean, would poison be a thing that was the
Maybe.
power? Would be the power of home? Poison be a thing?
Well, not conventionally, but it was a non-conventional situation. I needed to use a weapon made to simulate the weapons of the enemy. That way, the enemy could be blamed for what I did.
That doesn't sound like a all rainbows and happy cause. Putting it that way.
Doesn't sound like something that someone who's meant to be a protector would do.
Yeah, also you killed my bird
Oh,
for no
just talk
reason.
about that
Like, that
stupid
wasn't
dodo.
even necessary.
I'm sorry about the bird.
So ask yourself,
I mean, it was going to, like, stop existing, like, 3
shut up,
hours
Griff.
later, but
Jesus, no
still.
one cares about your damn bird.
So I'm sure Valeria
So-
is more concerned about her losses than yours, Kriv.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem like something who did it for a noble cause.
Obviously,
would do.
he is confused. He
Well,
has
he
been
believes it.
indoctrinated.
What? You're a god, goddess. I can't remember the genders of them all. Pardon me, but what is the? I think you're acting as a protector on her behalf. You think it's poison and the tactics and the subterfuge and bullshitting and the lying, making people think it's something else. Do you think that's something your god would advocate?
Sounds like something someone
Exactly.
evil would do.
I think Solar,
I
I think you've been used to someone else's gain. I think, in some respects, I kind of feel sorry for you because I know how that feels. I'm not excusing what
I
you've done.
know.
You have to pay for your crimes. I
I
think
know.
you need to realize that you might have been used by someone with another agenda. Considering the shit that's going on right now and what that
I
little
know.
black bastard said, I think
He's not connected to Javin.
Emma-
That much I know. He's not connected to the Order of the Gilded Eye or Helm.
Did Javin give the orders?
Not those orders. Not outside of Waterdeep. He was the founder of the Order of the Gilded Eye, but he is not the current leader. And even then, the current leader of the Order of the Gilded Eye isn't in charge.
Who is in
this could
charge?
be really helpful. This could be really
Right.
helpful for us because there's a lot of shit pieces moving around on this fucking thing. What you say now could help a lot of people. Us getting to the bottom of all the shenanigans. There's a lot of
Party.
a lot of the
Go ahead.
big players in this crap. Moving pieces, using people like you, like me, Aria, Xanth, Kriv, even Ornax to a certain extent. And if anything you know could help us, you could save a lot of lives, and don't you think that would be Helm's will?
Be penance.
It would be. That would be
This
Helm's
helm is
will.
a protecting god. Help us protect
Time you step
Waterdeep
up.
and tell us you know.
About a year ago. At least, I think it was a year ago. A little over. An angel of Helm came down to Earth, to Toril, to speak with Coera, our leader, head priestess of Helm in Helm's Hold. This angel of Helm calls himself Zushax, and he has shown divine powers the likes of which none of us have ever seen. With but a thought, he's able to make walls, repair buildings, create things never seen before in the world, just like that. He said he was here to help us make the world into a truly peaceful place, one that could be protected from evil. At least that's what Quera told us, he said.
Do you meet this angel to yourself?
Not personally, no, but I was given a sword. The sword that I have, which was supposedly one of the things he made. The magical enchantment is just there to stop it from being poisonous all the time, in case I ever went crazy.
So what?
Make it so that there were limits on the sword, so that I could be stopped by them if need be.
So you're only saying this Zashak is only the Lady Quera has met him.
Only the Lady Coera and the Open Lord, the Galt Neverember, have met him.
Well, seems like there's another player on the board we didn't know about.
What? It may be another player or maybe another disguise.
I don't think so. Kobold didn't seem to like the Galt very much, or us. He seemed to hate us.
I mean, this may sound a
Lies.
little crazy. Sorry, Valeria. Sorry, lass, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're good. Go ahead.
This kobold, the Dragon King, quotation marks either. If he's just another pawn on the table. Something this, yes, if he's as powerful and as divine as you say, I get the feeling he might be the one and can do the shit that you say. It may be the case of he's the one playing the moves, and we're all just pieces on a board to him.
From what I understand, everything was going to plan just perfectly. Or at least mostly. Until that incident in the dock ward happened. Everything broke apart. The letter disappeared that was supposed to be used.
Sorry, I had that one.
The pirate managed to get away. As it is, the fact that the letter was gone, we didn't have access to the map. The fact that Jarlaxle had found out about both of them, what we were trying to do, really caused a monkey wrench for us. Literally, the plan was only saved because of Schemo and him giving us the information we needed to incriminate Jarlaxle. But even Javin didn't really trust Schemo. The fact that he had that information, the fact that he was able to get it and give it to Javin, made him suspicious. And you guys talked to Javin about Schemo Weirdbottle. He, as soon as he could, marched straight to Schemo's shop with a few of us to, interrogate him, figure out what was really going on with him. Because Javin's the type of guy that doesn't like dealing with an unknown on the board.
I think I've learned that one. Unknowns on the board.
As it is, Javin pretty much played into the kobold's hands. That much I agree. But I don't think the kobold's plan was our plan. Or Zushak's plan.
I mean, we don't. If this Zushak is as fully all-encompassing power shit, he could just say one thing and mean another by.
He never comes to Waterdeep. He hasn't come to Waterdeep yet, and I don't think he's ever going to. He stays in Neverwinter,
why?
specifically.
Any chance?
Not sure. He always stayed in Neverwinter. Never even came to Helm's Hold. It always needed to be Quera who came to Neverwinter.
That seems a little odd. Something so powerful.
That's what I thought, but I never questioned it. I couldn't, at least not in public, not in good faith.
Can I ask you one question? What do you feel when you look back at the actions you've taken?
I'll probably get what I deserve.
Do you feel any more? Sorry for that.
What do you
Go on.
Sorry. What do you think you deserve?
Death.
Dan speaks up. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, I don't think you deserve death. I think you deserve to make up for every life you have taken. Death is too
Aye,
easy.
the last speaks with wisdom.
Oh no, you don't understand. You don't understand. If I live through this, if I go back to Waterdeep and you tell anyone what happened, that gets revealed, there will be chaos in the streets. The Order of the Gilded Eye and the Never Ember, they're in control of the city. And if the people learn about what I did and even suspect it was under their orders, there will be open revolt. Durlaxle's already going crazy. And whether or not you want to call it justified or not, fair enough, but he is still starting to go crazy.
I
Sorry, I keep trying to talk over people.
yeah, I know. I'm doing it just the same.
Go ahead,
Just gonna.
Xanth, go ahead.
Xanth's just gonna
Yeah,
say,
go Xanth.
who have obviously understood the weight of what you have done. What I would encourage you to do is to try to do better every day. Try to help the people of Waterdeep. Try to do good where you've done harm. And if it means you can work with us to discover what is happening, and perhaps that we can work together.
I know that will be hard to do, lass. I think to have someone in his position to be an ally in all this, I do seem to think he does genuinely. It's an odd one, but I do believe he believed in his actions at the time, but I think he realizes now how wrong he was. But if I'm honest with you, well, I can't be dishonest. Think I want him to live and to repent for his sins. A better way than helping us stop this chaos that this whoever's above it and whoever's behind it all obviously wants.
I agree. As much as I want this bastard to die, I think that is too
Don't
easy
get me
for
wrong,
him.
boy. I'll look at Slaadi and you'll see Darman take this dark, ominous look. If you do anything to hurt these people I care about, nothing alive will stop me from ripping your fucking heart out and shoving it up your ass and cutting you in half. I make myself clear.
I have never killed anyone. I have not been ordered to.
That's
And if I'm no longer taking orders from the Order of the Gilded Eye, then I will not hurt anyone here. That much, I promise you.
Then you should give us your sword.
He pulls the sword out from its sheath and hands it over, his head hanging.
Valeria take it, and she wants the sheath too, because I'm gonna
Yes.
put it in the bag of holding.
Xanth will put a hand on
sorry.
his shoulder and tell him there is still a chance at redemption if you are looking for it.
Hey, look at me. I blew the fucking half the street up. Now, look at me. I got 3 kids. I got friends. But
Nothing else.
it.
I think it would be good to try and make up for at least a bit of what I've done before I die. That would be good. Maybe that's what Helm really wants.
Are you starting to get it, boy?
Not that I'd be able to hear him.
Xanth kneels down and says, I believe that you should start to see if you can discern Helm's voice for yourself. Do not allow others to tell you what Helm's will is. Believe that is each of our duty as servants of our deity. How can you
And as my old
How can you claim to have a relationship with God if you do not commune with your God directly? Stop taking orders from others. What you know is right. He stands up.
He simply falls silent.
pearl of wisdom from a dwarf that's had one too many knocks to the head, boy. Be your own man. Don't be a daft cunt.
I love how Darman just said the same thing that Xanth did, only like far less eloquently.
In dwarvish.
In Dwarvish.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't be a daft.
Don't be a cunt boy. Stuff.
And as like after they're done with their conversations, Larry's gonna say, "Well, it's time for us to start working," and she's gonna hold a hand out to help him up.
He takes it, rises to his feet, and says, I don't mean to pry, but before we get into Waterdeep, you want me to act as a spy, then probably the best case scenario would be
He was
for me to
gonna
still
say
have
that.
the ring
Might
back.
want to hand him that ring back, lass.
Only when I get to Waterdeep. I'm sure you'll want to examine it before then.
I mean, it's a
Xanth
ring. I mean,
Xanth nods
Fair
and
enough.
says, and how are we getting to Waterdeep?
well, I got the copy of the dragon map.
Well,
Maybe try Candlekeep.
Is Arnax still there with us?
and Aranax is still there. He's just he's watching and listening. Well, as it is, I should be able to fly us in the morning. As he's kind of a bit tired after that brief fight, he says, if we leave in the morning, I should be able to fly us to Trial by the end of the night. From there, it should be only a few days' journey to
That's good.
Candlekeep.
That's good. By the way, Ornax. Two things. One, thanks for saving our bacon. Two, you're not stealing my fucking move by barging through the wall. It was fucking epic.
I did not barge through the wall.
Oh,
I
tomato
burned it.
asparagus. Damn it, everyone's stealing my shtick. I'm the one that burst through the wall.
They're not really the same things.
Can't really barge through a wall if it's already burned down.
Well, fuck. Damn it.
And that, I think, is where
That's a
we can end it for tonight.
Fucking great
That was
session.
eventful.
fun. Yeah, all I'm saying is we take in all the strays. Like eventually we're gonna have like a party of 15 because we've taken in like these wormlings and these fallen Asimar and taking all the strays.
And
Making an army. I mean, we are losing some.
thing is, you notice Darman's kind of like
Let's see, so
he's growing from you guys. He's kind of like realizing that I don't give a fuck about who you are. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, like just like he just said to him, be your own man.
don't be a daft cunt.